Hello, hello, and welcome to the Infinite Women's Network Success Summit. Today, we are here with the amazing Trasetta Alexander. And Trasetta is going to teach us about strategic content creation. Welcome, Trasetta.
Thank you for having me, Anika. So glad to be here. I'm excited to share.
I'm excited to have you because when we think about success, success is a fluid concept. And when people think of success, a lot of times people may think of monetary success. They may think of relationship success. They have all these different meanings. But today we're going to talk about success as far as being entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and professional development. So tell me, what is unique about strategic content creation? Why did you select that topic?
Well, the main reason why I wanted to talk about that is because I see, as a business coach, specifically a business productivity coach, I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are struggling to stay on top of creating content. They get frustrated because, one, they don't know what to post, or they're just kind of pulling random topics or random ideas out of their head when they post to social media or post on their blogs or YouTube channels, whatever it is that they're putting out there, and they're not being strategic with it. So what happens is they end up confusing their audience, confusing the algorithms, and they're not able to actually attract the people that they desire to attract to their business. And if they can't attract the right people, then their bottom line is going to be impacted by that. And so by being strategic in the content that you create for your business, it's going to be key for you to build, grow, and scale your business.
Build. Let's start with build. So when we're building business, what do you think is the first step in strategic business building? Because I guarantee you the majority of people out here have no idea.
Okay. This is kind of a deep topic. We don't have time to go like all the way into it, but essentially it's going to be, first of all, identifying what your sweet spot is. You have to figure out, what is it that I do well, like extremely well, and be very laser focused. And a lot of times people are way too broad, and because they can do a lot of things, they try to market all the things. But when you're first starting out, if you try to cater to everyone, you end up attracting no one. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. When you start out, if you try to cater to everyone, you will end up attracting no one. And so it's very important in the early stages to be laser focused in one particular problem, one specific content area, or one particular topic. And then once you've actually gotten to a place where you've established a market or established your audience, then you can start to branch out into other areas. But in the beginning stages, you have to be very strategic in who you're approaching. So number one is to figure out what's that one thing that you need to focus on, or that you can focus on and really do it well. The next thing is to identify who the people are that really need the solution that your topic or your area of expertise provides. What happens a lot of time is we want to go out and allow the audience to tell us what it is that we offer and that they need. And if you've attracted the wrong person, then you start catering to the wrong need, and you get all over the place, and you start dividing your focus, and as opposed to being really laser focused. So go out and find the people who really resonate with the topic that you have, so that you can be the answer to the problem. You can be the solution to the issue. Once you've identified who those people are, you need to know everything you can about them. A lot of people want to skip the market research, but no, that's the most important part of building a business. Get out there, talk to people, find out, where do they hang out? Where do they get their information from? What's their demographic? What are the problems and issues that they have in their lives? How do they make decisions? right? So are they the one that hold the purse strings, or do they need to confer with a spouse or a partner before making a decision? What are their values, right? So you have to build your ideal client or ideal customer avatar and really get to know them and use their language to then turn around and market to them. So it's really important for you to do that. Once you have identified your number one topic and then done the market research and identified your audience, then it becomes the build. Here comes the building part, where you start to strategically create content or introduce content out into the market that specifically addresses the needs of each one of those individuals, right? So you're putting out blog posts, you're putting out social media content, you're putting out videos, email newsletters, you're doing all the things, but it's specifically targeted at being of service and adding value to the people who are dealing with that solution, so that when you then turn around and bring your product or service to their attention, then they've already been primed to buy. So think about when you buy a new bottle of liquid soap. When you first get the bottle, you have to release the nozzle, and then you have to pump it a few times to get the soap up into the nozzle so that it can be distributed. We have to do the same thing with our content. We have to prime our audience by providing them with valuable information, valuable content that proves that you are able to assist them with that problem or issue that they're facing. And once you've done that, then it's an easy sell. A lot of people want to go straight from, okay, I came up with this product or I came up with a service, and they want to immediately approach someone with it and be like, buy my service. And they've not done any of the dating part, right? No one, at least I hope not, you don't have people walking up to you, you're single, you just met someone, and they say, hi, my name is Trasetta, and I want to let's go get married, or let's go have sex. You're not going to do that in real life. Why do we think we should do that with our products and services? So it's important to use content strategically to woo or date your audience, so that when the time comes and you present them with a product or service, then they are willing. They've already gotten to know you. They've already got that know, like, and trust factor from you. So it's easy for them to pull out that credit card or pull out that debit card, pull out their hard-earned cash to pay you for the product and service that you are putting before them.
Where would someone start? As an entrepreneur, you've got this product, you've got this service, and you've got this wonderful idea, but you're not exactly sure how to start. Do I start with a blog? Do I start with a social media calendar? Where do I start with strategic content creation?
Okay, so here I'm going to share a little bit of my strategic content creation formula. I like to start with one large piece of content, one really meaty piece of content. So personally, I like to do Facebook Lives because it's just easier for me. I have like an outline of the topic that I want to cover, and I share, what it is I'm going to be talking about, what the why what I'm talking about is important, and then I make sure that I share some tips, at least 3 to 5 tips or strategies on how you can address that particular topic. So I do that in a Facebook Live, and then I take that Facebook Live and turn it into a blog post. I take the meaty pieces, the quotes, and all the different things that I share in that live and use that as my social media content. So I'll take quotes out of it, or I might take the tip and share a tip every few days. I always include some sort of research or some sort of statistic in when I'm sharing, so that I can share that on social media as well. So taking all that big piece of content and then breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces for social media. And the reason why I say do the blog post is because blog posts are SEO friendly. That is important to you as a business owner because you want people to be able to find you. So when they are searching, how do I set goals, or whatever the problem that your product or service provides the solution for when they're searching for their answers, your content can come up in the Google search. And long form blog posts, ideally like around 1,600 words is going to be the ideal length, because then you can get enough keyword. It could be very keyword rich so that it makes it a lot more searchable. And then also I'll take that Facebook Live and I'll do a little bit of editing and put it to YouTube. Why YouTube? Because YouTube is the #2 search engine next to Google, who, by the way, owns YouTube. So YouTube's content is also searchable. So no matter where people are searching, they can still find your content. And we have to remember that not everyone sees every piece of content that you put out, right? A lot of times we think like, oh, I already posted it on social media, so people have already seen that. I need to come up with something new all the time. No, you don't. Make sure that whatever it is that you're sharing is what's called evergreen. It's information or content that does not change or changes very slowly. So by creating evergreen content that you can put out on your blog or your YouTube channel, then it continues to work for you long after you've created it, so that you can then focus on other things in your business rather than having to create content. Did that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And what's extremely important about that is that you're working smarter, not harder, because of what I think a lot of people, they get confused because they're constantly creating new content. Every day I need to create a new post or a new this or a new that. And I like what you said because you were descriptive. You talked about creating one blog post, which in my mind is like writing a paper. Okay, you write one paper, you've got your statistics, you've got your meat, your potatoes, and then you can just take little excerpts and then you can just post that on LinkedIn. And to your point, I want to emphasize that everybody may not see your post. You can't assume, because for one thing, most people who are out here working, they're creating their own content, or they're working, their moms, they're whatever they are, they're most likely only going to see it in one place. So if you're posting on Facebook and this person likes LinkedIn or this person likes Instagram, they're missing it. So extremely important to make sure that you're repurposing and that you're reusing, but also that you're placing the same content in multiple places. And so I really appreciate what you're saying, because when we hear a lot of marketing or coaches, they talk about things, they don't break down what SEO means. They don't break down what keywords are. So you have people who are doing it, but they're missing the SEO, or they're not using keywords, which means it's posting, but it's not being searchable, And so I appreciate that you're breaking this down, because we have to educate each other. A lot of people may not be in coaching programs. They may not take marketing classes. They may not do these things. And they're out here and they're beating, their head, because they're like, I'm posting, and nobody's seeing it. Or they think that because there's no likes that nobody sees it. What's your take on that?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to say, before we get into the whole, like, people seeing your content or whether or not they're seeing it or not, I like to say, work hard, smarter, right? Being an entrepreneur, being a leader, all of that, it does require hard work, but let's work hard, smarter. Let's be very strategic in what we're placing our hands to do, so that we get the greatest result from the efforts that we put forth. A lot of times we're working hard busy and not working hard smart. But when it comes to people seeing your content, you have to understand that there are algorithms at play when it comes to social media that push content to people or show content to people based on their habits and their patterns, by what they've previously liked, what they've previously commented on. And the more that people like or comment on your content, the more likely it is that they're going to see more of it, unless they check that see first kind of button. And in order for, but even then, they're still not going to see every single piece of content that you put out there. Maybe they're not on social media every day. Maybe they, or let me even say this, even if they did see every single post that you put out, they're not going to remember it all. And just because you hear something once doesn't mean that you got it. How many times I can raise my hand. It's been many times when I know something, I heard something, but it took the like 250th time before it really sunk in and I was ready to activate on it, right? So just because you said something once doesn't mean that everyone got it. Plus, you have new followers, new people coming into your community on a consistent basis. So they weren't there to hear your content or to read that piece of content that you put out last year or 6 months ago. So it's important to rephrase or restate some of the things that you share, because just because people read it doesn't mean that they got it. And there's people, and the new people coming in, they didn't get a chance to see it. So it's important to repurpose, recycle, reuse content that you've already created. There's no reason that you have to create new content every single day or all the time. I know me personally, I've been blogging for a while. Granted, I don't blog every single week or I don't blog every single month, but I have enough blog content that I can go back and create a few years worth of social media posts just from the content I've already created without ever creating a brand new piece of content. And so go back into your archives, go back through the stuff that you've done. Even if you've done like those long form social media posts, repurpose that, take bits and pieces from it, do it as a quote, send it to your email list, right? There are so many ways that you can repurpose the content that you already have put out there. Refresh it for what's going on right now, right? So maybe it's something that you've already shared, but you can bring a new spin to it based on what is happening in the world at the time that you're bringing it back forward. Right now is a great opportunity with COVID-19 and everyone, a lot of people having to work from home or being quarantined and all that. It's a great time for you to take old content and put a new spin on it, put a fresh word on it that is appropriate for right now. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause on that.
I'm listening because if you make it relevant, then you're just literally, you're not reworking. You're just using the same thing. And it reminds me of how we look at curriculums. We really think that we're reinventing the wheel, but you write a textbook, you never rewrite it again. You may have a new edition. You just repurpose it, just make it relevant.
Refresh.
Yes, refresh. And we need to refresh every once in a while. You just gotta renew, refresh.
Yeah.
Do you have any other takeaways that you really, really want to take home for people? Because I think that, one of the reasons we're doing this is because this is a time where people they're being forced to take a look, to restart, to refresh. Some people are having to change their whole career path.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And I was sitting here thinking the same thing, as I'm transitioning through graduate school and all these things, we go through these stages in life where we're lost. And a lot of people are forced now to take a look at where they are and where they want to go. As far as making this shift and this transition, you talking about strategic content creation, what's the takeaway that you really, really want people to understand that they can execute and implement in this time?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to do a reset. I have on multiple occasions, I've been coaching for a little over 3 years now. And I have on multiple occasions over the last 3 years done some pivoting, done some shifting. 2 summers ago, I literally did a 2-month pause on my business while I pivoted into a new messaging, still doing the same work, but a new message, a new framework for how I presented myself to the world. And even now, just last summer, the Lord led me to stop launching programs and to stop taking clients. I normally don't take clients during the summer or do any programs during the summer anyway, because my 9 to 5, we have a summer camp that keeps me busy and I just don't have the capacity during the summer. But at the end of summer, August, September, I'm normally launching some sort of program for back to school. And I was preparing in June last summer to do that. And the Lord was like, I don't want you doing that. This is what I want. I want you to focus on speaking and serving. That's all I want you to do until I say otherwise. And I'm going to be honest, I was not happy about that. But I also know, okay, if this is his directive or his guidance for my life, then I know there's a reason for it. So I went ahead, I took that. But now I understand, right? Because I'm in a major shift because of this pandemic, because of all that is going on. He is yet again pivoting me. And so I myself am doing a reset. I am wiping the slate clean and beginning anew. In fact, this message that I'm sharing with you all today is a direct result of my time being home, working from home, being quarantined under these stay-at-home orders. It's because I was like, Lord, I've got to figure out a better way to do what I'm doing. And I'm all about productivity, right? And that's what I coach in, is business productivity. So I was like, I got to find a better way. And I know I've had this system, I just not have been using it to the best of my abilities. I was like, let me now really focus on that. And so as I've been going through that journey, I have created a course that goes along with it. And I'm saying that because ideas have come out of this time. Something that I never would have created before COVID-19 has come out of this pandemic. So don't be afraid to shift. Don't be afraid to reset. I'm literally going through and wiping my email list down to zero. Not zero, because I have a few people that recently made purchases from me that obviously are in alignment with the new messaging that I'm putting out. But it's only a few people, but I'm essentially starting from ground zero, rebuilding all over again. And something I was participating in another summit, or I was attending another summit recently. And one of the speakers was talking about organic social media reach, specifically Facebook at the time. And he was saying that if you have, 1,000 followers and, only like 10% of your people are seeing or like 10, 20 people are seeing your content, then it doesn't matter if you start over, right? Because if you have 1,000 followers and only 10, 20 people are seeing it, then no one's really seeing it anyway. So who cares if you start over, right? And so don't be afraid to do the reset and rebuild based on this new clarity, based on this new vision that you have for your life. I believe that this was, that there are benefits that can come out of this time if you would only move beyond the frustration, move beyond the fear, move beyond the uncertainty, and really embrace this time to seek, okay, what can I do differently? What have I learned from this situation? What have I learned from all that is happening? And how can I take that and apply it to my life in a new way? How can I take that and pivot in my career? How can I take that and create a new business? Or, you don't necessarily have to go quit your 9-to-5 job if you still are able to work it. Go ahead, start that side hustle, start building that community now through content marketing so that you can build, grow, and scale your business to the place where you can ditch that 9-to-5 and be full-time doing something that really brings you joy, that brings you passion, that invigorates you with your passion, and also serves people and calls them to their higher self. I think I went on a tangent, but
I think it was.
Yeah, I answered your question.
Because if you didn't understand why we're doing this push, now you do, because at the end of the day, it's time.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't buy into this mindset that that no one is buying anything, that no one is spending money, that everyone has lost their job, everyone is in dire straits. No, I have done better. Like today when we're recording this, we're just 7 days into the new month. And I've already made more money this month than I made last month.
Me too.
In 1 week.
Ironically, I was shutting my business down. I was still for 6 weeks because I was like, God, is it time? I I thought I was riding on a high, and this thing happened, and clients started saying, I can't. And I said, I can't hold events. I mean, you're telling me social distancing, it ruins everything that I worked for 2 years. And I say, okay, what does this mean, God? What does it mean? And I had to be still. And I was still, and I didn't do any social media. I didn't do anything because I didn't know what to say to anybody. You know, it's what am I going to do now? And I'm listening to you on your tangent, and I appreciate it because it was confirmation for me. Because I sat here in the last 48 hours, and as I've waited to see what this was going to be in the last 24 hours, the answer to my shift has come. And it's drastically different than what I was doing before. And so I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, it always happens that way. Is that you get that confirmation that that's what you need to do. But I want everybody to understand that that's called growth.
Absolutely.
It is. And it's necessary, because just like a plant, you keep those dead leaves on there and the whole thing will die. You got to go ahead and just start over. And so this is the time. And I hope that everyone takes the resources and the information that we're providing in this summit and use them. Use them. And if I don't tell you anything else about Trasetta, she will get you right. If you are unorganized, if you need structure, if you need to get, the nice word is strategic, but that means you can't get right and you need to be put together. So thank you. Thank you for your message. It is on time, and I hope that everyone benefits from this and use the resources, and this will be evergreen, as she has so eloquently explained, because a lot
all
of
about that evergreen.
Understand it. They don't get it. So now you know.
Yeah, evergreen content creates green in your wallet.
It sure does. And I hope that you guys receive this information and education, and there's always going to be more. So feel free to reach out to Trasetta. And any last words, Trasetta?
I just want to say that you are stronger than you think you are. You are more capable than you think you are, and that there are people out there that need you. There are people in the world who need the gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that you possess in order for them to step into their full power and their full purpose. And if you don't show up for them, then they won't be able to show up for those that they are called to serve. So move beyond yourself, get out of the fear, get out of the doubt, and step into who God created you to be, so that others can glean from you.
All right, y'all. That was Strategic Content Creation with Trasetta Alexander. You guys stay tuned for the next segment.